Governor Jay back, presenting facts over fiction to give you the knowledge you've been missing. Welcome back to the channel. Please put your emotions to the side and make sure you hit that like and subscribe. Now tonight, we got to talk about some more hard truths about the Black American community in the United States and what's going on in the major sport leagues here and how we're being replaced. Okay? Now, as we all seen Super Bowls just the other day, we had a halftime show with Bad Bunny, right? He had a music performance in Spanish and whatever other language he be up there speaking. All right, because it don't all be Spanish. All right, I've already explained that to you on my previous videos. So, and people are wondering, right? You got a lot of Americans, black and white, even some Hispanics, right? Even some of them that are not understanding exactly why he was selected to be the halftime show, performer. Like, you know what I mean? The vast majority of viewers didn't understand what he was saying. And of course, for the NFL, they don't care about their consumer base, right? This is what Black Americans need to understand, right? And this goes for all these corporations in this country. They don't care about the already established consumer base. You know what I'm saying? We just consumers. Like, consumers are like slaves to corporations, right? So they don't care. All they want, they're greedy. They want more consumers, right? In other words, more slaves. So they're always going to be trying to so-called expand. You know what I mean? That's why they've always been trying to force the NFL into Europe. They always want to go over there and play a couple games in Europe and float these ideas of establishing some team over in Europe. And, now they want to do it with Latin America. That's why now they doing games every year. They might do a game in Mexico or a game in Brazil or something like that. You know what I mean? So that's why they want to bring in that audience. Because ultimately, they want to replace Black Americans on the field. That's what they want to do. And I had an argument, well, not a really argument, but a discussion, right, with my uncle about this. Of course, he's of the older crowd, but he's actually got he's actually kind of on point with his stuff. He's not with that, he's not with most of them. You know how the boomers are, right? We know how the boomers get down, right? He don't think like that, so he's solid. But we kind of had a discussion about how he doesn't believe it's going to happen. You know what I mean? And I try to discuss how the NFL has already set up development leagues in Africa. They already have development leagues set up in Africa where they want to just bring these guys over, basically funnel them into, the American academic system and everything. Go to college maybe 4 years, and of course they want to get drafted. Or they might just draft them out of Africa. I don't know how they're getting these guys over here, but as we see every year, there's more and more and more and more of them. He claims that, of course, Black Americans, we're more athletic than the Africans. So